Good evening, Sophie. I will start off with the comprehension task. 1. What is the American frontier? And we can see over here that the American frontier is an unsettled region, and you can perhaps say that the American frontier is kind of like a border that's supposed to fence in the unsettled regions compared to the settled regions in America in the late 1700s. And it was usually found in the western part, so over here, of the US. And today it's still important because it did and does still shape the national values. But the American frontier started in the 1600s, and we can see that in the text over here. When the first colonists settled on the east coast, so over here. It ended again in 1890, approximately, when the western lands were settled. Task 2. Americans have tended to see the frontier, its life and its people as the purest examples of their basic values. What are these values? And I found here on the next page that the closest associate values are individualism, self-reliance, and equality of opportunity. And the frontiersman has been a model of the free individual because of these few laws and the less control that there was at this certain point. Task 3. What is the can-do spirit and where does it come from? The can-do spirit is a sense of optimism. We can read about it here. It's a sense of optimism in the American about themselves and their country, and it was because of the willingness to experiment and invent that the American trait arose. It has become a real source of pride and inspiration for the present Americans, and you can probably relate to big politicians as well. Task 4. The frontier is also used to explain the absence of strong class distinctions based on e.g. family and money in American society. How? Well, because of the value equality of opportunity, the unsettled areas were to be found more balanced when talking about wealth. And on the frontier, they didn't pay attention to a person's family background because it was based on the value equality of opportunity, that everyone had a chance to start on afresh, and so this frontier helped Americans to start on this fresh beginning where they could work their way up through a competitive race for success and or a better life, and you can read about it in this section. Especially here as well. Well, the wealth between the rich and poor in these unsettled regions or areas, they were generally smaller compared to the more settled regions. It explained that the wealthy travelers were also warned if they wanted to be treated nicely, they could not show off their wealth because it was not nice to do such things, and they wanted to treat everybody equally. Um, and now to the post-reading tasks. Task 1, do you recognize the idea of a particular American can-do spirit? If yes, give examples. And I thought of the big politicians in America and in America's history, and they have probably always referred to this spirit in speeches where the possibility of a political action becoming a reality has been small. Also, Martin Luther King referred to this spirit, maybe not intentionally, um, but it came through as a rhetorical device or an alliteration. I have a dream. And Obama, who uses yes we can to create a feeling of hope in every American citizen, which also is this can-do spirit. Yeah. Task 2, what do you see as a typical American characteristics? I see today that typical American characteristics would be the very liberal political point of view that the majority of the Americans have, and you could perhaps discuss if that if the frontier value individual freedom could have something to do with the fact that they are so liberal in their political views. Also, the United States, they are known as a very multicultural country, which also could have something to do with these values, or just the fact that they all were a part settlers in the 1700s, and therefore it has become a country with many different backgrounds. America is also known for their huge influence around the world. They are in front business-wise, and also big political leaders are all from America. And these, all in which the equality of opportunity has taken a big part of these two characteristics. Besides this, Americans today are known for their obesity, and that has become a typical characteristic that we all think or have an opinion about compared to America. And that was it.